Warchant.com. We're here at Florida State Media Day, joined by Deondre Francois, Florida State quarterback. This is year two for you. Obviously, that first year, you got a lot to digest in that playbook. We've talked to some of the other players. That's a lot to put on your plate. What has that learning process been like for you the last year, having to learn all those plays?
Learning process has been real smooth. Coach Fisher has put me in a great position to learn the playbook. Being that I redshirted, I didn't have a lot of weight on me, so I could, really cope with school and football. So it went real smooth for me.
I think Coach Fisher said that he was really optimistic about you. He says when you make a mistake, you identify it and you openly voice it and try to correct it. Has that just always been a trait of you, that you're very open about mistakes and make those improvements?
Yes, I feel like no one's perfect. I strive for perfection, but I know I will never get there. But if I continue to strive for it, then, that will up my game. So me making a mistake, I don't really get down on myself. I just use it as a tool to get better.
Is that something maybe you saw a little bit? Because Jameis was kind of that way too. He could get yelled at and all that, and he would correct from it. Is that something maybe you took from his game?
No, that's not something I took from Jameis's game. That's something that's been with me throughout my whole life.
Now this year, let's talk about that playbook. How much do you think you're totally comfortable with? All of it, or maybe 80, 90%, or what do you think?
All of it.
What was the toughest part of it to pick up for you?
None of it was really tough to pick up. It was just the process of learning the playbook, learning the different terminology of Coach Fisher's playbook, and just being able to, transfer the speed of high school to the speed of college.
Now that offensive line is coming back, those are the guys that are going to protect you. How excited are you to see how big and how much improved those guys are this year?
Well, when Coach Fisher does name who the starter is, I feel like the quarterback will be in a great position because all 11 starters have came back, including the starting O-line. So whoever the quarterback is behind the O-line will be in great position.
Now, if you are the guy, having that guy over there, number 4, what does that do for a quarterback to have maybe the best running back in the nation right there with you?
If I do become the starting quarterback at Florida State, I feel like having Dalvin in the backfield will take some weight off of me. And, being able to hand the ball off to the best running back in the country is always a great asset for a quarterback.
How have you handled all this? Of course, the public and the media is going to make a big deal out of quarterback competition, but how have you kind of internalized this and dealt with it all?
I'm real cool about it. I don't really get too high. I'm a humble guy, and whatever decision Coach Fisher makes, I'm going to rock with it. If I do become the starter, then I'll be okay. If I don't, then I'll continue to do everything that I am doing now. So.
Now, another thing for the quarterback you're probably excited about is you got some great wide receivers to work with. You got some experienced guys coming back. You got some young guys with a lot of talent, too. Talk about that receiver core and kind of the connections you made. A lot of that is obviously over the summer you work with those guys a lot, but how is that connection working out?
The connection has been really well. We've had a great summer from spring. We had a great spring going into summer. So, throwing the ball over summer with all the receivers, we've gained that camaraderie. We've gained the timing. We've had a good summer of routes on there, a good summer of 7-on-7. So all the receivers has been in attendance, and they all have bought into our system.
Last thing I want to ask you about that spring game, having that experience with a crowd, a place you're going to be playing at, in the first game of the season. What did that do for you?
Really helped. It really didn't do much for me. It did something for our team. Being in the hotel in Orlando, going through the process of playing in the stadium in Orlando, it really did something for our team. Now we're used to it. Now we can cope with going to Orlando and having our first game away versus Ole Miss.
Gotcha. Appreciate it. Florida State quarterback Deondre Francois. Good luck to you this season.